Another world war? Are you ready to study about one more war in history classes? Well, it looks like it. The countries across the globe have had a friend-foe relationship with each other. Although the global geopolitical landscape of our planet has been marked by the complex relationship between two major powers, the United States and China. It's news now that the evolving dynamics of their relationship and the potential for conflicts raise concerns about the possibility of such a nuclear war. Let's know in detail. The first aspect in the possibility of a nuclear war is the US-China relations. US-China relations have undergone significant shifts over the past few decades, marked by economic interdependence, strategic competition, and occasional tensions. Trade disputes, technological rivalry, and differing geopolitical interests have contributed to a complex relationship. While both nations engage in diplomatic dialogues and economic partnerships, there are areas of contention that could potentially escalate into more significant conflicts. Now, both the countries have exceptional military capabilities too. This becomes a critical aspect of the US-China relationship. Both countries possess formidable military capabilities, with nuclear arsenals that are central to their strategic doctrines. The United States, as a long-established nuclear power, maintains a robust and diverse nuclear arsenal. China, while having a smaller arsenal compared to the US and Russia, has been modernizing its nuclear forces, showcasing a commitment to enhancing its strategic capabilities. But isn't the entire world focused on nuclear doctrine and strategy? Understanding the nuclear doctrines and strategies of the United States and China is crucial in assessing the likelihood of a nuclear conflict. The US follows a policy of nuclear deterrence, emphasizing its commitment to preventing aggression through the credible threat of nuclear retaliation. China, on the other hand, has historically adhered to a no-first-use policy, asserting that it would not use nuclear weapons unless attacked with such weapons first. However, the nuances of these doctrines and the potential for shifts in policy over time add complexity to the overall strategic landscape. Of course, we have had regional flashpoints, through which both the countries have developed a strained relationship. Certain regional issues contribute to the complexities in the US-China relations, increasing the risk of conflict. The South China Sea, Taiwan, and tensions over territorial claims have been persistent sources of friction. Any escalation in these regions could heighten the risk of a broader conflict, potentially involving nuclear capabilities. The long-standing issue of Taiwan remains a critical flashpoint. China considers Taiwan a part of its territory and has not ruled out the use of force to achieve reunification. Any escalation in tensions involving Taiwan could significantly strain US-China relations and increase the risk of a broader conflict. Territorial disputes in the South China Sea, where multiple nations claim overlapping sovereignty, contribute to regional tensions. The US has been critical of China's assertive actions in the area, including the militarization of islands. A miscalculation or aggressive move in this maritime region could have far-reaching consequences. The role of diplomacy and international agreements also plays a major role. Diplomacy plays a crucial role in mitigating tensions and preventing conflicts from escalating to the nuclear threshold. Both the United States and China are parties to various international agreements and organizations aimed at promoting peace and preventing the proliferation of nuclear weapons. The international community, including the United Nations and non-proliferation regimes, plays a vital role in mediating disputes and encouraging dialogue to address underlying issues. And if you ask, what's the historical context and what lessons did we learn? Examining historical instances of nuclear crises, such as the Cuban Missile Crisis during the Cold War, provides valuable insights into the risks and challenges associated with managing nuclear-armed adversaries. The lessons learned from these events underscore the importance of effective communication, crisis management mechanisms, and international cooperation in preventing the escalation of conflicts to nuclear levels. both the US and China are actively modernizing their nuclear arsenals. Technological advancements, such as hypersonic weapons and advanced missile systems, introduce new variables into the strategic calculus. These developments can potentially alter the balance of power and increase the risks associated with any military confrontation. The future of arms control agreements, such as the New START treaty between the US and Russia, can influence the broader nuclear landscape. If such agreements break down or are not renewed, it may lead to a less predictable environment with fewer constraints on the development and deployment of nuclear weapons. Sounds too complicated, right? The major question is, out of all these, what could be the global implications of a US-China nuclear conflict? The consequences of a nuclear conflict between the United States and China would be devastating on a global scale. The immediate impact would include widespread destruction, loss of human lives, and long-lasting environmental consequences due to nuclear fallout. The global economy would be severely disrupted, with ripple effects felt across various sectors. The use of nuclear weapons results in unprecedented humanitarian challenges, including the immediate loss of life, injuries, and displacement of populations. The long-term health effects of nuclear radiation, coupled with the destruction of critical infrastructure, would strain humanitarian response efforts. Additionally, the environmental impact, characterized by nuclear fallout and potential nuclear winter effects, could lead to widespread agricultural failures and further exacerbate the humanitarian crisis. Not just human life or environment, it would also deeply affect the economic disruptions and global supply chains. A US-China nuclear conflict would have profound economic implications, given the interconnectedness of the global economy. Both nations are major economic players, and disruptions in trade, supply chains, and financial markets would reverberate worldwide. The economic fallout could plunge countries into recession, affecting livelihoods, investments, and the stability of financial institutions. The geopolitical fallout of the US-China nuclear conflict would extend beyond the immediate regions involved. Allies and partners of both nations would face strategic dilemmas, potentially leading to realignments in international alliances. The delicate balance of power in the international system could be disrupted, and efforts to maintain global security and stability would face unprecedented challenges. All of these would paint a much more ugly picture in reality. One can't predict such a situation, let alone know the result of such a war. So the next question is, how can we prevent it? Given the catastrophic consequences of the US-China nuclear conflict, preventive measures are paramount. Strengthening diplomatic channels, fostering dialogue, and reinforcing international agreements that promote peace and disarmament are critical steps. Multilateral institutions, including the United Nations, should play an active role in conflict prevention, crisis management, and post-conflict reconstruction. It's not just about nuclear developments. The war could be a tech war too. The US and China are engaged in a fierce technological competition, particularly in areas like artificial intelligence, 5G technology, and cybersecurity. This competition not only fuels economic and industrial rivalries, but also has significant implications for national security, potentially amplifying the overall geopolitical tensions. Both nations are accused of engaging in cyber espionage against each other. Cybersecurity threats, including hacking attempts and attacks on critical infrastructure, add another layer of complexity to the relationship. In a worst-case scenario, cyber warfare could escalate, possibly leading to a broader conflict. Haven't we heard the news of the hot air spy balloon? It's our responsibility, as residents of the planet, to ensure that we stay safe and help each other to be safe. Hope you liked watching our video. If you enjoyed watching this video, then click on like and definitely subscribe to our channel. Share your ideas and views in the comments section below.